Welcome to our first video in the GA4 series. In the first video, I'll be taking you through really the main difference between UA, or Universal Analytics, and GA4. And to kind of show you the comparison, I'm going to start with a typical Universal Analytics account and a GA4 account. There are different accounts, the metrics are very different, but I'm going to use them to kind of explain the difference between both of them. So first of all, probably the primary difference, and you can see this immediately from the dashboard when you open, is Universal Analytics works on hits. So a page view is a hit, going to the next, going to an actual conversion is counted as a hit. Each of these are considered what they call hits. In GA4, everything is event-based, and literally everything revolves around events rather than hits. That's the primary difference, and therefore every report follows on with this in mind. So to start Universal Analytics, and I'll show you how you can very quickly get to understand GA4 by first understanding Universal Analytics. On the left side of the bar, of your navigational bar, you have audiences. And within audiences, you have everything about the users. So you can see anything from demographics, who they are, lifetime value, and so on. Then if you want to dig a little bit deeper and go to the next level, then you have the acquisition. And acquisition essentially is, how did people get you? What traffic sources did it take to actually get people to the website? So just to kind of show you a typical acquisition funnel or acquisition summary, you have everything from Google PPC, organic, direct, Bing, and so on and so on. Then if you want to dig deeper into the next level, I'm ignoring the little subheadings and sublevels, is behavior. And behavior typically denotes what happens on those specific pages. So the first one in acquisition is, how do people get to the page? The second part, or the following navigation behavior, is what do they actually do on those pages, and which pages did that include? And then you can go through all the pages on the website, and you can understand how many users got there, what's their bounce rate, and so on and so on. Lastly, or the last two things that follows on with is conversions. And if it's an e-commerce store, you'd have e-commerce as a separate section here. But conversions really tell you what happens on your site. And this is really attributed to how you define a conversion. You can define a conversion as anything. So it can be a soft conversion, like a thank you. It can be an add to cart. It can be a page view. Or it can be an actual hard conversion, like a lead or a purchase. And if you are running an e-commerce site, you'll see everything in the e-commerce section pertaining to conversions. Now, to jump across to GA4, you have a very similar way where you can kind of take yourself through that same process. So I would start in reporting or reports. And when I open reports, I'm going to get to my little subsection. And again, this is going to be essentially what's replicated in Universal Analytics. So this little like sidebar over here. So I have acquisition, which acquisition means no different to what it does in Universal Analytics. So again, if you want to see the makeup of how people got to the site, you can see everything in acquisition. I'm going to ignore, again, the sub detail here, more to understand how to get to, let's say, the crux of what you need to see. Then you have engagement as the next thing. And engagement is, because again, GA4 is primarily event-based, it will give summaries of events. And within events, you have conversions. So you have, again, as I say, all your soft or hard conversions, from soft conversions, meaning view item, first visit, page view, to an actual purchase that you can see here. So the order is a little bit different, which kind of gets people a little bit muddled, but the information is all here just like it is in your typical UA report. Then we have monetization. And monetization is, again, essentially for e-commerce stores. And this would be your e-commerce section in your conversion section in Universal Analytics, and you'll have everything pertaining to e-com. So your purchases, you can see your add to cart, you can see the value of your purchases, you can see which purchases, and so on. And the last one being retention. Again, the name just kind of really muddles it up. This is essentially found in your audience report in Universal Analytics, and you have really the difference between new users and returning users and everything that pertains to them. And retention essentially is how well you retain users and how well you get returning users back to the site. But that's a good starting summary of how to quickly get yourself integrated into GA4 once you're pretty used to Google Analytics. Follow our next video to kind of learn a bit deeper into what you can do in GA4.